Good evening, students. Today we are going to learn about nomenclature of organic compounds or nomenclature of carbon compound. How the carbon compounds are named. What is the rule for naming? Those things. Though there are certain common name, but there is a system of naming called IUPAC nomenclature. So we have to learn about IUPAC nomenclature. After this, we will learn about homologous series of particular functional group and what will be the name of that series or and their members. Those things we will learn. A student, if it is asked to you, say you have to give the name to this CH3, CH2, CH, say Cl, CH3, only this much. Another one is a CH3, CH2, then CH, OH rather than Cl if it become OH, then CH3. Let me consider one more. Say CH3 or CH2, CH3. What will be the name for this? For the simplest one, we had learned that if there is halo group or chlorine group, then halo or chloro is used as prefix. If there is alcohol, then OL, on replacing the E of alkane, we can get the name of that. But that itself is not sufficient in this case because this alcohol is not attached at the end. That is one thing. Then how to differentiate this? It may be possible that this OH may be present at this end. So reducing this to 2 and making the OH here and increasing this to 2. Then how to differentiate them? So remembering the common name is quite difficult. Therefore, a system which is internationally acceptable called IUPAC system of nomenclature is adopted. So we have to learn about this IUPAC nomenclature. Students, we have learned in our class 9th also. This IUPAC is International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, which is an agency or organization which tries to make the chemistry convenient. We had learned that this IUPAC had given the symbol for different element. So the symbol that we are using like hydrogen, carbon for this thing, say HCCl, these are even accepted or approved by IUPAC. So that the same symbol is acceptable for Indian as well as European as well as the Americans as well as Canadians everywhere. Means a study of chemistry is made most generalized and convenient by an agency called IUPAC. Many a time, what is the full form of this IUPAC? That is also asked. So student, write IUPAC. So this is an agency whose full form is International, U for Union, P for International Union of what is there? Of pure and applied, A mean applied chemistry. This IUPAC is taken. So it tends to generalize. It Generalizes. Generalizes means the things must be acceptable internationally. So generalizes and generalizes and makes chemistry easier. Chemistry easier. Easier. So this IUPSC is International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. So it is an agency or a body or organization which analyze the chemistry, try to make the rules for the chemistry so that chemistry can be understood easily. So it is that agency. So what it has given, it has approved, it approves the symbol of element, symbol of elements. It is asked in NTSE who had given this symbol. Like Dalton had given the earlier symbol, which was inconvenient, so it is being replaced. It gives method of nomenclature. Method of nomenclature. Nomenclature means giving the name. Nomenclature of molecule or compounds or molecules. So it is two things. So here we have to learn about IUPAC nomenclature of organic compound. So what is that? IUPAC nomenclature of organic compound. Means certain general rules are given. Based on that rules, by changing the number of carbon atom or changing the functional group, we can write the name to any of the molecule. Okay. So right, certain rules are proposed. Certain rules are proposed. So considering those rules, we give the name. So in this rule, for the organic compound, the very first one is considering the number of carbon, then considering the type of functional group present, because type of functional group decides the characteristic or nature of that molecule, and varying the number of carbon atom, the compound also changes. Means within the same functional group, if the carbon length is increased, then that will give a new kind of compound or new kind of molecule. Like methanol, ethanol, propanol, all are alcohol, but they contain different number of carbon. So how they are named? So certain rules are proposed. So considering, right, in continuation, so what they have considered, consider the very first consideration is number of carbon atom. So number of carbon atoms, not all the atoms, but which one atom should be considered, how, that one, and functional group, and functional group. It is. So these two things are very important, or the base of this nomenclature. A student, in addition to this, what are these rules to deal with or to consider the number of carbon atoms, functional group, and other things what are required? These things we are going to discuss. So what are these rules? Let me write the rules first. So the very first rule is, I will not write all the rule. There are total 14 or 15 rule. RFPD and many more are there. But at your level, very 2 or 3 basic rule I will give you. That will be enough for you to give the name up to your level. So very rule number 1. What this rule number 1 tells? Rule number 1 tells for the counting of number of carbon atom in the molecule or in the chain. Okay. So write this as the very first, it is called as the selection of carbon chain, or we may write together counting, or let us break it into 2 parts so that you can understand it more conveniently. So selection of longest carbon chain, it may be open or closed, means the ring, it could be in the molecule, okay, and count the number of carbon atom in it, and count the number of carbon atom in it, atoms in it. It is this one. Okay, how is this? A student, let us first understand, rather than giving the name, here 2 things are there. Understand it carefully. Once you understand, it's very easy, and nomenclature is asked in your MCQs as well as in your subjective question. So the very first is you have to select the longest carbon chain. It means that. And then you have to go for the counting. So 2 things we will write. Very first, we will understand selection of longest chain, selection of carbon chain. Then in this carbon chain, how the number of carbon atoms are counted. Counting of carbon atoms. A student, for this counting, if the number of carbon atom is 1 carbon atom, then this tells you shall use, not use the 1 carbon atom, but you shall use the name meth. If 2 carbon atom is there, then eth. If 3 carbon atom is there, then prop. This way. Up to 10 we will learn. Going on. So how is this counting? This thing we will understand. The other one is carbon chain. A student, if it is like this, CH3, I'm just leaving the hydrogen. I'm not fulfilling the valency, but you suppose that the valency is filled. So if this is the case, then it's very convenient. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon atom. Whether you start from this end, means from the left end, or from this end, you will get the same number of carbon atom. Okay, student? So no issues. But the question are not this much simple. But if it is increased like this, let me slightly modify this. If it is like this one, or one may further increase this like this one, say C, and one more C is there. If this is the case, then how it can be numbered, and what is the chain which is possible? Here in this case, we have 1 terminal, 2 terminal, 3 terminal, 4 terminals are there. So what will be the name? How to find? For that, they had given the rule, you have to select the longest path. You try to move from the one terminal to other and find the maximum number of carbon. Let me do here. One may start with 1, go for this 3. How much carbon? 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this case, he will get the 4 carbon. One may start with 1. He may go like this and reach to this terminal 4. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 carbon. Understand this carefully. If once you could not understand, you can never write the name. So 7 carbon here. If one is starting from 1 and going to this 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon atom. Then which shall be selected? So 7 shall be preferred. It simply means. But did you consider all the possibility? You need not be bounded, or you need not always start from this terminal 1. You are free to start from this terminal 2 or terminal 3 or terminal 4, from anyone to go to the any other. This we had also learned in our earlier classes. So considering that means we are free to select the terminal or start from any of the terminal, and we can reach to the other terminals so that the longest path is formed. So what is the longest path here? A student, if you are starting from the terminal 3, then moving like upward, then going here, then going here, then going here. How much the carbon atom become? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then it become 8. So in this case, it is the 8. But earlier, it was only 7. So here we are observing that 8 should be preferred. Are we getting? So this is the meaning of selection of longest carbon chain. It simply means that. It is very important. Okay? A student, after this selection, whatever the other carbon which have not come in this chain or in this path, for that what to do? For that there is other rule which tells that those carbon or those other auxiliary thing which is not in this selected path, they shall be considered as auxiliary unit of the smaller alkane. Okay, or alkene, or maybe the alkyne. Means what? After this we are getting here that 2 carbon, this one and this one, remain unaccounted or uncounted. So they should be the longest chain. It is one thing that we obtained. But these 2 carbon, these 2 are considered as methyl group or as alkyl group, and it should be used as prefix. It's simply meant. So this way, all the carbon atom will be considered. So if you are just asked to write the name of this, then what it will be? So let me write the name. Let me take. So selection of longest carbon chain you have to do means you have to start from any one terminal, go to the any other terminal. You have to try for all, even just from the molecule itself it become visible. And we had also learned that just taking a turn is not a branching. Okay, so this path may be zigzag, but it should be continuous from one terminal to the other. That is the way. So let us write the name, or let us take one example of this. Students, let me take one example. So you are given with, say, C, H, C, 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 and then C. Up to this much. Just for your convenience, I have taken this much. Only this much. Okay. Then other are filled with the hydrogen. If you wish, let me fill it with the hydrogen in open or in the bond form. It may be written in the compact form, student. So whatever the form that doesn't affect the name, so the rule is applicable for all the structure, whether it is written in compact or bond structure or the complete structure. It is this one. Or the same may be written like this, student. It is representing 1, 2, 3, the carbon. So it may be the two carbon can be represented by this dash only. First carbon, second carbon. Other as this dash. Second carbon means first carbon, second carbon. If you are starting from here, 1, 2. This we are not knowing. Actually, where is 1, where is 2, even no need to worry. But this structure can also be drawn simply like this. 1, 2. 2 is over. Coming to this third, put another. For this fourth, you again have to lift it upward. The fourth is over. But at this fourth, the fifth, the other one is here. You may draw like this. But at the same time, you are getting that after this, the another, this one is there. So you have to draw. But at this one, which is corresponding to this node, there is another this one. So that you also need to draw. You can draw vertically like this. Then you can draw tilted like this. Or you may take it even the downward. So many a time only this structure is given to you. It is found in your NTSE and even in your academics also. So the other can be like this one. So one more bond is this one. Then take this one. So corresponding to this atom is there. Then corresponding to this carbon atom is there. Then corresponding to this one is there. So this is the zigzag structure. It may be drawn like this. Okay, student? Only considering the carbon. Or it may be written like this. Students, may be written like this: CH3, CH2 in condensed form, CH2, then C, and at this there is H only, then there is C, H2 which is coming down. So other CH2 may be written is this carbon, and the last one is CH3. This is the first branching I have drawn, but going in the forward way, it is further attached with another CH2, then another CH3. It is this way. So whatever the structure written, don't worry. The rule is applicable for everyone. Now, for nomenclature, we are going to select the longest carbon chain. A student, you may consider any of this structure, the rule remains the same or the way of counting remains the same. A student, you first start observing the terminals. We can start from this, go to this or this. These are the three terminals. We have to start from any one and have to go to the other, then we have to search the longest one. If I am starting from this first carbon, going to this, going to like this, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in this way we are getting 6 carbon is there. But if anyone is going like this, student, observe now the new structure that I want to count like this, or whether you draw like this, mean the same thing. Okay, whatever the thing that we are going to consider, that doesn't affect. So if I am now considering like this was the one kind of counting. But if the second kind of counting is like this one, then count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 carbon. So which one is preferable? This should be 7 carbon should be preferred. So it is preferred. Okay, student. Now you may start with this one also, and you may go like this. You will get this in. Other student, if anyone is taking like this, starting from this and going like this, then 1 carbon, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 carbon only. So this kind of consideration is wrong. This turn is also wrong because 1, 2, yeah, this is correct, whatever we have done. Whether we draw like this from this first end or the after this carbon mean the same thing. So this way we have to select the longest possible chain or path. That is the first thing that we need to do. Here we have selected it. These are not possible. So what are not possible? Let me remove it. So this is the one thing that we have concluded. First, we need to select the longest one. It is the very first thing applicable everywhere. Many a time a student get confused even in very simple molecular structure. Now, after this, here we have the 7 carbon. Students, so you just write this as 7 carbon. So in chemistry, 7 carbon, how it is counted? The table I will write. 1 corresponds to meth, the 2 correspond to eth, the 3 corresponds to prop, the 4 corresponds to but, 5 corresponds to pent, 6 corresponds to hexane, so hex, 7 corresponds to heptane, so hept only, 8 correspond to octane, so oct only, 9 corresponds to nonane, and 10 corresponds to decane. Okay, so dec only. So this is the chemistry counting. So you have to observe carefully how much carbon is there, and for them the chemical in chemistry the counting hept shall be selected. Okay, so this way this indicates this 7 carbon means I need to use the term hept. This how I have selected, I have marked here. Observe it. So hept I select. Only this is the counting that we have learned till now. After this, the number of longest carbon chain we have just counted, but still there are certain other carbon which are not accounted till now. What they are, observe it carefully. It is this one. Getting? So those functional group or carbon or auxiliary thing which are not counted in this chain, for them we have to adopt some rule. So how this is, what this represent? A student, this is taken as ethyl, means the smaller structure from which this can be made is only this one. This is our ethane. If you are considering like this, it is our ethane. But if we remove this hydrogen, then it is forming a group, and that group is named as, now from eth it is named as ethyl. YL is added in place of en. So this shall be considered as ethyl. Get it? Means this is the radical of alkane. So it is called as alkyl group. It is not the alkane, but from the alkane one of the bond is open, or one of the hydrogen is being removed to attach with the other carbon. Get it? So, and it is proposed that this alkyl should be kept before this. Means after this we need to go for which kind of other auxiliary things present in this structure. It is the ethyl that we have obtained. So this ethyl should be used as prefix, and hept is okay. So hept is considering the carbon chain. Another rule, If there is double bond, triple bond, or functional group, that should be added here. Okay, it is the rule. So what is here? Here we are getting that all the carbons are having only the single bond. So for the single bond called as alkane. So in nomenclature, ane is only added. If anywhere say there is some double bond, then in place of alkane we shall use ene. If there is a triple bond anywhere, that triple bond position we also need to allocate, because this double bond, triple bond is acting like a functional group. That rule we will discuss later. Means after deciding this carbon chain, the other as prefix, and then the functional group that we need to observe, and that have to be written at last as the suffix. So here it should be added like this. It is the single bond. So the as a suffix ane should be added. ane. Okay, it is so simple. So how is the naming? So the structure of naming is like this. Very first is prefix, then carbon count, then suffix. This is the way. Which one is used as prefix, which one is used as suffix? In functional group I had told you. The alkyl radical and halo group are taken as prefix up to your level. So this is the structure. But many a time it is possible that whether this group is present at this position or maybe present at this position, okay, or it may be present at this position. If the position is changed, then it will give rise to a new structure. It may be possible. Students, for that the other rule is given. What is that rule? The rule is very simple. You have to indicate the position of this prefix and this suffix. So right. So for this prefix, so use or along with, used with position. How is this position? Counting the carbon chain, you have to just number it. How to number it, that I will tell you. Along with position. This should also be with position number or position only. Position number. Position number. What is this position number? You might be observing in your book and many places that some number are given before this name. What is that number? That number is the position number that we have to understand. So a student, in this case, if you are writing this one, this itself is not sufficient. Why? Because it may be possible that this ethyl group may present here itself. So where is this? For that, the next rule come into picture, that I will write later, but please understand. For that, after selection of longest chain, you have to number this longest chain. Start giving the number from any of the end of the selected longest. Selected longest chain, how we are selecting? Just by observation, we are getting that this can give us the longest chain. That's why we have selected this one. It is one thing. Now coming to the numbering. You are free to number from this end, go to this, or even you are free to number from this. Let me start from the left end. Consider this 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5, then 6, then 7. So this 7 carbon I have numbered like this 7. But if we are numbering from this end, say from this end, if we are going to number it, let us number it and let us put it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's okay. Means in this case, even we are also getting the 7. Means the number of count of carbon will remain the same, but now you have to observe the two numbers where this auxiliary group is attached. What are these two numbers? In one case we are getting this 4, but in other case we are also getting this 4. So there is no ambiguity, means no doubt the 4 will be there. But it may be possible that from one side we are getting the 3 and from the other side we are getting the 4, then the lower number should be preferred. That is the rule. That I will write later. But just to complete this name, what I shall use? Before this alkyl group, I shall put this number only. So just come here, the name that we have written. Before this, I need to put the 4 here. So it is 4-ethyl heptane. This is the final name. It's so simple. Are you getting? But we have to practice. So this was the meaning of giving their position value. Okay, how is this? You please tell me the name of this. Let me take, say, CH3 or example 2. Let me take, say, CH3, CH2, or let me take first this CH itself, then CH, then CH, then let us take the CH3. How I shall name this one? Yeah, let us skip this much only. The simplest one let us take. What will be the name to this one? Or let us increase one more just. Yeah, only this much let us do. What will be the name to this one? Yeah, please post your answer in the chat box. Apply the rule. Select the longest carbon chain. What will be the longest carbon chain? You are able to free to move from one terminal to another. First, yeah, you please post in chat box. Yeah, tell me if you want to speak.
Sir, 2-methyl butane.
Very good. A student, you are free to select the chain like this, another one like this. You are free to select like this. So you are starting from here like this. These are the mostly 3 possibility, whether from left to right or upper to bottom, but mostly these 3 kind of chain are there. If you are considering the first one, you are observing 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this case we have the 4 carbon. Considering this one, the curved one, again 1, 2, 3, 4, the same thing, 4 carbon. But considering the third one, I mean starting from this and going like this, it is 1, 2 and 3 carbon. So this is ruled out. So what is left? How we shall number is either this way or this way. These are the 2 possibilities. So we are free to choose anyone. If anyone have selected like this, say a person have selected this one, it is also correct. Or even if you are selecting the state one, that is also correct. Then what to do? The other part we need to consider this as prefix. So what it become? It become like methyl. Okay, student? For numbering, now you come to the numbering. You can number from 1, 2, 3, 4. It is the one way. The other way, one may start from here. Say from here, if one is going to give the number, then one may say give this carbon as number 1. This carbon where the methyl is attached as number 2, number 3, number 4. Here we are getting, from one side we are getting this 3 while we are moving from this way. But from the other way, we are getting the 2. So which one is preferable? So from here we are getting the number is this 3. Means On third carbon, this methyl is attached. But from lower side, the other number we have observed is the 2. So you have to compare in this 2 or 3, what we shall consider. 2 is correct and 3 should be rejected. So this way of numbering is wrong. So this is the correct one. Are you getting? This was the meaning of this. It's very simple, student. So you have to understand, you have to select the longest, you have to give the number from the either end, then you have to choose the smaller number. That is the rule. So this way we are observing that this is our correct one. So for giving the name, what is the longest chain? Carbon. 4 carbon. 4 carbon means it should be the butane, but since there is no double bond or any other functional group, so you can directly consider it as but with N. And this is the methyl, which will added as the prefix. So add the prefix this methyl. So this become like methyl butane. But the ambiguity is there whether it is at the second or third. So to avoid that, the 2 should be written here. A student, here even if you are shifting this methyl group at this position, still it remain the 2. That will not affect. So some of you may tell 2 is not required, or in many a book this 2 is even not written. That hold good in this case. But for the other one, where some more carbon is given, in that case this number becomes very important. So just put the habit, put the number, the position number of the prefix, then the prefix itself, then whatever the functional group or the longest carbon chain, it is the single carbon bond, so alkane. So ANE is there and 4 carbon in this chain, so but is there. So it is 2-methyl butane is the correct answer or correct name. Are we getting? It is this one. So this was the way. Now let us come to the other. Students, these are very important that you must understand. Now let me take the third example. But before that, let me write the rule. So write down the rule number 2. So rule number 2 tells us that number the selected longest carbon chain. So number or give the number the selected longest carbon chain. So numbering can be from the 2 end, then which one end is preferable? So number the selected longest carbon chain from the end. So from that end or from the end by which this methyl group or the functional group gets the lowest number. From the end where the functional group or maybe your halo, it may be your ketone, anyone, or methyl. In place of methyl, I shall use alkyl group, alkyl, or the simple term is prefixes and suffixes gets lowest number. Now here I have written so many things. So the order is important. If the functional group is there, means which is in the form of the suffix, so first we shall prefer this suffix. Then we shall go for the prefix. If both prefix and suffix are there. Let me take one example for this. Example third. A student, let us consider CH3, CH2, say C, means ketone, I had already discussed, CH3, then at this carbon, let me consider one chlorine, Cl. Okay, student, this is the scenario. Then how I shall number, what will be the name to this? It is very important. It was asked once or twice. That's why I have taken. These are the simplest, only the simplest molecule will be asked to you, but knowing the rule, you can correctly answer it. Otherwise, if you want to just mug up, then it becomes difficult. So understand this, a student, I have to count the longest carbon chain. And we have also learned that in case of aldehyde or ketone or carboxylic acid, their carbon also need to be counted. That is one thing. Okay. Now, so this carbon chain or the carbon selection chain will be like this one. So it's obvious it will include all these four. Okay, it's okay. Now the question is, if I start from the left hand, say like this one, and if I'm starting 1, 2, 3, and 4, it is the one way. Now if I'm starting from the right hand, then it is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now which one is preferable? Here we have two things. One is our this methyl itself. A student, observe this. It is our methyl. It is one thing that we need to keep in mind. So this methyl, which itself which will be considered as prefix. The other one is our ketone group itself. So here we have to understand, or we need to consider these two, this as well as this. So here in this case, we are getting that we have the two things. One is our ketone. This ketone is the functional group, and this functional group in nomenclature as suffix. How? Which suffix? ONE, after dropping the E of alkane. Another one is the chlorine, that is chloride, means it is like our this. So this is used as prefix. The prefix chloro should be used. It is like this one. So in this case, wherever the prefix and suffix both are there, then functional group means the suffix is the determining factor. So it is the main functional group, or this determines. Even if there is two functional group itself, one aldehyde and another ketone, then which one is preferred? There are rules, but those things are not in your scope. So I will not go in that much detail. For you, only with the prefix and suffix, their positions, if it is that one, then we have to consider. So here we are observing this is the correct way and it will give us the wrong way. Get it? Therefore, what will be the name? 4 carbon. 4 carbon means I shall use but or from the alkane as alkane derivative. So butane, something like that. Now at the position, the chlorine is 1, and this functional group CO itself, ketone, is there. So this ketone tells us something to be added as the suffix. What is that? For that the E should be replaced by ONA, and the chlorine tells that chloro should be added as prefix, but this position of this prefix need to be specified. Even for this ketone, the carbon is coming in between, so that carbon position also need to be specified. Okay, student? So therefore, in this case, we shall start with this one. Means we shall start moving in this way. Observe like this way we shall start and we shall go to this. Okay, for that, start writing with the prefix. So the chlorine should be added as the chloro or considered as the chloro, and the bigger carbon chain that gives us the butane, but E should be replaced by ONA, this one. So this E should be dropped and ONA should be added here. The position of this chlorine should be indicated before it. And even if this ketone is coming between, then that should also be indicated with their position. So even after this, put a dash, a small dash, and put ONE here. This is the complete name. Okay, so if this is written, many a time, if only one such structure is possible by interchanging this functional group, then we can leave it. Can you draw the other isomer of this? Means if only one structure is there, no isomer is possible for that structure with the same functional group and same prefix, then that can be left. So maintaining this ketone, can you draw the other isomer for this, student? Let me try. Yes, can anyone tell me? Can we draw the other isomer?
That is 3-chloro or 2-chloro.
Yeah, it is the 3-chloro. You are correct. It is 3-chloro because for chlorine, these 3 have to be preferred. Student, 2-ONE. 2 is for this our ketone. Yeah, it is the 3, not the 2. So ensure it. Can we draw the other isomer for this? If anyone is thinking like this, CS3, then C, this is connected with O, then this is our CH, Cl and CS3. Is this the different from the above one, or is it the same? This structure I have written here. Whether it is exactly same as the given one, or is this different? Yes, student, can you tell me? Means I have to compare this structure with this. Whether the two are same or different. Tell me quickly, compare it. We have done this isomerism so many times. So many questions, too much practice. Whether these two structures are same or different.
Same.
Good. Only one student is able to answer. Students, I have told you we are free to number it from the either end. So from this end or this end. Here we are observing that starting for this one, the first structure, one carbon is attached with the ketone. We are also free to look from the right end for the second structure. Here we are getting, then it is matching. The last carbon attached with the ketone, then the next carbon is attached with the chloro group. Here also chloro group. So both are identical, student. So that's why in this case, maintaining the functional group and this prefix, we are not getting any new structure. So in such a case where no new structure is possible for them, means if only one structure is possible for such a molecule, then in that case we can drop the numbers. It is this one. But even if you are writing, that is also correct, but you may drop, or in many a case these numbers are not given, then still you shall not get confused, because in that case only one possibility is there. Okay, a student, means here we are getting that if I am shifting this, we are getting here that this ketone group remains the same. But one may think like this. A student, observe the other structure I am going to draw. Say CH3, CO, CH2, CH2, Cl. One may draw like this. Whether this is different or exactly the same. Yeah, tell me. Here one is identical to 2. 3 same or different? A student, in this case again you have to number it from this end. 1, 2, 3, 4. So name will be like 4 chloro, then 4 carbon is there, butane, or 2 ONE. Correct? This is the correct structure or correct name. So here we are observing that these prefix or the number before the prefix are very important, which is allocating the presence of chlorine. So this cannot be dropped. But for maintaining the ketone as a functional group, whether I draw this structure or this structure or this structure, this ketone is always coming at the second position only. So many a time these two can be dropped. But the better habit is this 2 is also not dropped in a standard book or even in your examination. Correct? So this is the way of writing. Means what we have understood till now, let me recall it. A student, the very first rule tells us you have to select the longest possible carbon chain. Then that longest possible carbon chain, you have to name it as meth, eth, prop, but, pent. Okay, considering the nomenclature table, I have written that nomenclature table here. Yeah, student. So this nomenclature table for counting the carbon, up to 10 is enough for you. But there is more than 10, then there is still, it is uni, decane, dodecane, tridecane, or many more countings are there. But those things are not required at your level. So you just keep in mind up to this much level. So very first is select the longest carbon chain, count the number of carbon, give their name in term of meth, eth, prop. Then we have to observe for the presence of other auxiliary group and functional group. If auxiliary group and functional group are there, then we shall start the numbering from that end from which the functional group is getting the lowest number. Forget the other auxiliary like alkyl. If functional group is not there, then this alkyl group numbering should be considered. Are you getting? So write that rule, we shall write, or rather we shall write a note here. Note, write down, functional group is preferred over alkyl or prefix in numbering. Like halogen is also used as prefix numbering. It is the second thing. Okay, a student, if you may write here, if functional group is not there, functional group like aldehyde, ketone, double bond, if these things are not there, okay student, then we shall consider the numbering of the prefix or alkyl group itself, right? If functional group is missing, then give preference or give weightage to this alkyl group, then give lower or lowest number to alkyl or prefix. Okay, so in numbering, very first is the functional group shall be preferred. If functional group is not there, then directly the prefixes can be considered. Okay student, it is enough. Now let me take one more example and please do this. After this, I am going to write a table, and in that table I will write each kind of this functional group with few example and their name. So rule, these 2 or 3 rule are enough for you, because more complex rule are not in your syllabus. This was even our, rather than note, it is our rule number 3 itself. Let us take one example. Let me write like this. So CS3, CS2, CH, CH2, C, Cl, or let me use the bromine, Br here. It is attached with Br, H, C2, or let me write CS3, then attach one more CS3, then let me attach one more here, CH3. I reduce this, adjust the valence. Name of this we have to give. Okay student, what we shall consider? Here we are getting that bromine is also used as functional group, and the methyl group that will also called as functional group. So in this case, keep in mind, functional group, this halogen, though prefix, but they are considered as a functional group. So this alkyl group have the lowest weightage. By that way, you please name this. The lowest weightage.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me quickly. Post your answer. Yeah,
sir,
tell me.
sir, in right of bromine, carbon has only 3 bonds.
Yeah, bromine, CH, then again CH3 is there. Means there is one more bond. I have not drawn it. Even if this is whether it is drawn or not, that doesn't matter. But it is the lowest one is BrCH, CH3. Other are bonded with. The valency need to be ensured. What will be the structure? A student, you are free to choose the structure like this. Say this one, or you are free to choose this one. It will give the same thing. One may think, start with this one, come to this one, and go to this one, like this. Counting this, 1, 2, 3, 4. In this case, only 4 carbon. Counting this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbon. So this is preferable. This should be removed. It is one thing that we have came to. A student, many a time a student may be thinking, Why this is straight one? Considering this way, it's mean the same thing. Okay, student? Or whether you draw this like this one, the other side. So this exercise you have to do in a rough work or only in your question paper itself with the dotted one. Okay, it is like this one, mean the same thing. So whatever the way you are doing, here we are getting this one is one alkyl group, the other one is this alkyl group. Okay, so two kind of methyl is there. So for this 1, 2, 3, this much methyl we are using monoditri. That kind of counting is also used. Now coming to the numbering, how it shall be numbered? For numbering, very easy, student. If you start numbering, this bromine shall get the lower number or lowest number. So you shall start with this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So it become like hexane, but care have to be taken. 2 bromo is there, and before that there is 4 methyl as well as 5 methyl. So before writing the complete name, what would be the part of our name? So one is our 4 methyl, another is our 5 methyl, the other one considering the bromine, that will give another prefix, then 2 bromo, then the 6 carbon is there. So these things should be in prefix, then considering the 6 carbon, hexane. It should be like this one. So how to arrange this? Student, here we are getting the methyl is 2 in number. So these two can be written together. So 4 and 5 is written in comma form. Then 2 methyl is written as dimethyl. Then 2 dash is always kept bromohexane. This is the final answer. Okay, it's enough for you. Up to this much, not more than this will be asked. I'm always taking the extreme kind of molecule up to your level. The simpler one from your textbook I will also take. I'm just explaining what are the possibilities which are asked in your NTSE. Up to NTSE level I am covering. So this is the third rule that we need to keep in mind. Now considering all these rules, we are able to write name of anyone. So right, then the final fourth one, the rule number 4. The rule 4 is for the functional group. So functional group are characterized by certain suffix. What are the functional group? What are their characteristic suffix or prefix that we have already learned? So the same thing we have to write here. The functional group, the functional group is included as suffix. Here you have to keep in mind only one functional group, that is our halo, as prefix. This we have learned. This is one of the exception. Okay. Otherwise, most of the functional group is considered as suffix. It is one thing. Then the next rule, write quickly. The rule number 5, 5, 6, I'm connecting the two. The carbon of aldehyde, carboxylic acid and ketone should be counted in main chain. Carbon atom of functional group like carboxylic acid, then ketone or aldehyde, ketone should be counted in main chain. This is very important, student. In main carbon chain, and should be given the lowest possible number, and should be given lowest possible number. If it is at the end, then you must start with 1. That is, if at end, what the end could be? It could be the carboxylic acid and aldehyde. They are always at the end because they have only one valence which is open at the end. Then start with it. It is the last rule up to your level. These 5 are enough for you. Example, let me write like this. Students, if we have CH3, CH2, CH2, CHO. This is the compact structure. Here we are knowing this CHO is representing our aldehyde group. So this shall be given number 1, 2, 3, 4. It should be written like this. So it is simply for this aldehyde. What is the rule? That I had already given you earlier, student. Which one functional group should be written by which suffix? I had already told you, if X is there, then as the prefix halo we are using. It is one thing. All the other are mostly used as suffix. If OH is there, then it is the suffix. The suffix is our OL by dropping the E. If there is CHO, this unit aldehyde, then at the suffix Al we need to keep in mind. If we have the suffix like the other one is carboxylic acid, COOH, then oic acid. This we had learned earlier. So these things we need to keep in mind. The students, OH as suffix OL as this one. These 3 are important. And X as the prefix hal. This thing we had learned earlier at the time of functional group. So here we need to keep aldehyde at the end. From this we shall start the counting by considering the rule number 5. And the name, because of the 4 carbon, it is considered as derivative of butane. So E should be replaced by aldehyde Al. It is one thing. It's enough. Nothing is given in the prefix. Even the numbering is not required. While it is from the one terminal, that number, giving the number 1 is not required. If it is not at the terminal, like ketone, which is not at the terminal, there the numbering is required. So a student, what will be this? The answer will be butanol. This is the answer. Are you getting? It's so simple. Only this simple kind of question this nomenclature will be asked to you people. Yeah, let me take one more. If one aldehyde and other ketone is there, that kind of nomenclature you will learn in higher standard. So those example I am not taking. If you just want to answer me, then I can answer, but that will not be asked in your examination, because in many, I mean, books or some of these study material from the internet, they are including such unwanted things to your level and your also. A student, let me take the second example. Consider there is CH3, CH, CH3, sorry, CH2, CH, to COOH, and add one more thing here, CH2, CH3. If it is written like this, then what will be the answer? Now tell me quickly, student. Here, longest carbon chain we need to write. One we shall consider as the prefix, carboxylic acid as the suffix. Do it. Yeah, tell me quickly. This was asked in your examination. Okay, no? This simple one was asked. This is the simplest one. Yeah, tell me quickly, students. Start counting the maximum number of carbon chain. Means start counting the number of carbon in the longest possible chain. A student, wherever this functional group are there, here we have written you must start from the end. So there is no question of searching from there 1, 2, 3 means anything like this or anything like this. These are the wrong attempt, because wherever the carboxylic acid or such a functional group containing carbon is there, which is at the end, you have to start from that end only. So this is the very simple one. Okay, so you have to just no ambiguity, you have to come here. But after coming here, we have the two possibilities, that whether I shall continue like this way or whether I shall take a turn and go like this. Which one is preferable here? So wherever branching, the two possibilities you need to consider. So in this case, we are getting that it will always be numbered 1, 2, third carbon, fourth carbon. If we are coming to this, the fifth one. But if we are going downward, then this will be the fifth, then it is the sixth one. Okay, some of you have given the correct answer. So a student, leave this choice. So this should not be considered. So this is the longest chain that we have written. Now what is the left, which the carbon atoms not in this main chain is considered as alkyl group. So we need to consider this group also. What is this group? Yes, student. For this group, I need to write this as methyl. But the main functional group is carboxylic acid. So oic acid. This will act as suffix. Yeah, student. This methyl as prefix. But for this, the position of methyl have to be indicated. It should be the 4. So at the fourth position, this methyl is there. You shall not start writing like this 1, then 2, then this has 3 and 3 methyl. No, that will give you wrong result, because this suffix or functional group is always given the preference. So many a time this is asked directly in your examination. So write the answer. Now it's very easy. So here we are getting, it is our 4-methyl. How much carbon? 6. So hexane is there. But for that, E of the hexane have to be dropped and oic acids to be added. Okay. So it is 4-methyl hexanoic acid. It's so simple, very simple kind of question. So only by knowing those 5 rules, you are able to answer any kind of question up to your level. Okay. Now let me take few examples from your textbook so that you people will gain confidence in this nomenclature. Students, let me take one example. What is the name of this? So this is name of the following compound. It's very simple. It is given methanol only, bromoethane only, and it is the W. Itna easy hai, I shall not take this one. Okay, we will come to this later, or you people will practice in your home. So these are the 5 rules. Now considering these 5 rules, I need to tabulate all these things. A student, we have learned the other characteristic that if carbon-carbon single bond is there, always it is like our alkane. So A and E is like our functional group. If the double bond this unit is present, then it is alkene. E and E unit is present. If there is presence of this unit, then it is alkyne. Y and E is present. Okay, this thing. If there is Cl, or better to write the X, then it is at the prefix halo, means chloro, bromo, that one. Halo should be used. So this halo should be as prefix. If there is OH, I'm just rewriting everything, whatever we have learned. This should be as OL after dropping the E as suffix. If there is CHO, then it is AL. Keep in mind there is a difference, EL and AL. These are as suffix. If there is COOH, then oic acid as suffix. If there is ketone, be careful, this carbon will be counted. ONE should be used along with the position of this carbon as suffix. So up to your level, only this much are enough. Okay. So now I am going to write or going to make a table which contain different number of carbon. Then what will be the for alkane, what will be the name? For alkyne, what will be the name? For alcohol, what will be the name? Those things I am going to take. Okay, student. So did you written? So I am going to tabulate this with the example in front of this. Written? Okay. So first I will take number of carbon. And wherever isomerism is possible or not, that means the value of N I am taking. N will be what? That I will take here in this table. Then for alkane I will write the name. Then for alkene I will write. Then for alkyne I will take. And after that, let us for the chlorine I will take. For one of the X we will take. Then OH, all the other rules are the same. Then CHO, then COOH, and then like this one. You make your paper in landscape mode, then you may write. Okay, just understand any one. For others, you can fill the table by yourself. Let us take number of carbon atom as 1, means n is equals to 1, means one carbon containing molecule. Whether it is possible, then what is the name, what will be their structure, those things we will write. So alkane, for this, let me write one more thing, or let me keep some additional information in this one. Here I will write the general formula. General formula for alkane, alkene, and alkyne, only these three are important, even for the open chain. For others, we can also write if no more than one functional group is there, but no need to mug up. But for these three, it is very important. It is given by Cn H2n plus 2. This we had learned last day. It is Cn H2n. It is like our Cn H2n minus 2. Say for in alkane, if X is there, so it become like Cn H2n plus 1 with this a molecule of X, maybe chloro, bromo, halo, it will be like this. If the alkene is there, it may be possible to contain this halo group in alkene containing compound, then it become like Cn H2n minus 1 and X. If alkyne containing compound X is there, then it becomes Cn H2n minus 3X. Okay, means one of the hydrogen have to be replaced by the X. It's so simple. The same is also true for this thing with OH only. Okay, this will be copied here like this one. So be careful about this. So that's why we are not giving the general formula for halo, ketone, or all those things. We are always giving the general formula for the open chain alkane, alkene, and alkyne. Just understand this. Replace one of the hydrogen with the other functional group. You can name it. Let me take n is equals to 1. Considering this n equals to 1, substitute it. It becomes C1H4. So this is called as, if n is equals to 1, then it is called as methane. So keep in mind, it is our methane. For this, the count meth, eth, prop, but, how we have written earlier, that is followed. But in this case, the suffix ane is used. So let me write that one also in this table. So here, suffix ane is used. Here, the suffix ene is used. Here, suffix yne is used along with the counting of carbon at the end. In this case, the prefix halo is used. In this case, the suffix already we have written earlier, the same thing I am writing. OL is used. In this case, AL is used, because you have to keep in mind all these things. As much time as you can practice, you can keep in mind for a longer time. So please write as much as you can in your home also, in addition to this class. Then oic acid term will be used as suffix, then one will be used along with the position. Okay, it is like this. So meth, one carbon means meth. Or even if you have the doubt, if the count is 1, then it will called as meth. You may write here itself. So this meth will be added with ane to get the name of this. This compound is called methane. Okay, student. Can we make this for n equals to 1? Then it become like CH2. In this case, the valency is not fulfilled. So this is not possible. This I had explained earlier. So for that, we are associating a condition here. So in this case, the n is always greater or equal to. In this case, n is always greater or equal to. Okay, it is this. So for 1, it is not possible. Not possible. Now coming to this. Yes, with alkane with 1 halo is possible. So let me write 1. Like it becomes CH3, 1 hydrogen with Br. The structure last day we had run, please refer those videos. So it become Br means bromo, but only 1 carbon, so no need of number. Number can be left. So it become like bromo methane. Is it okay? This thing we have to keep in mind. With 1 carbon means CH3, OH is possible. It is called as methanol, OL student. Okay. If we had also learned for this, even we can attach only 1 hydrogen here, CHO, then it is called as methanol. Methanol, because for this aldehyde and acid, the carbon of this aldehyde is always numbered at 1. So it become in the category of counting of meth, and the suffix is al, and always considered as derivative of alkane. So methane, an is also added. So it become methanol. Are we getting? Keep in mind, it is important. This structure is asked. Okay. A student, in addition to this, one more thing we have to keep in mind. These have a most common name. This is the IUPSC name. The other common name is formaldehyde. Okay, it is asked. So keep in mind. It is also called as formaldehyde. I'm writing here. So it is aldehyde with 1 carbon. One is called as formal in common nomenclature. So therefore, it is also called as formaldehyde. Okay. So this formaldehyde, for coming to this acid group, HCOOH is also possible. It will be called as methanoic acid. Okay, student? And the common name to this is formic acid. This name is also very important because you will get this name in your book as well as in your examination. So one is called as formic acid. Like formaldehyde, it is the acid group, so called as formic acid. A student, can be attached 2 hydrogen here and here? No. A student, otherwise it become like our methanol or formaldehyde. So this structure is not possible. Otherwise it exactly resemble with this one. Okay. Therefore, this is not together. Okay. So this was considering the 1 carbon, which compound is formed, which compound is not formed, what is their common name. So here we have to keep in mind this common name, student, also formic acid along with their IUPAC nomenclature. Okay, it is important for you, like chloroform. What is the IUPAC name of chloroform? You must recall and refer the previous videos. Now let us consider the n equals to 2. Any doubt, then please ask. How I have named, or whatever the rule of nomenclature I had given, the same I am applying here. Just I am tabulating. Let us take n is equals to 2, or you may just put a dash here so that you can understand. For n equals to 1, it is being finished. Consider for n equals to 2. A student, if n is equals to 2, then our count tells this is our eth. Then the structure for the methane becomes C2H6. It is our ethane, ANE. If it is containing one double bond, then it becomes like C2H4. Then it is called as ethene. The structure we had already drawn. 2 carbon having double bond and 2 hydrogen at these positions. It is this way. Okay, structure we had already drawn earlier. If the coming to the alkyne, it becomes C2H2. It is called as ethyne. Okay, student. The structure is very simple. Between the 2 carbon, there is triple bond 1. Considering the halo group, a student, if we have C2H5Cl, it is of the alkane group, it will be called as chloroethane. A student, by the way, if it is C2H4, from this Cl is attached, so C2H3Cl means the structure is like this. One of the hydrogen of this is being replaced by chlorine, so it becomes chloroethene, ENE. So this makes difference. Okay, these are the very simple structure, but you need to understand why this ENA, because it is of this alkene group. Getting now? It is formed by replacing this. So these are the simple thing you need to add up. These are the rules that we have learned right now. That one. Coming to this, if it is C2HCl, then it becomes chloroethine. Okay, it is like that one. Let me write that one also. C2H2, so H and Cl, it become chloroethine, YNA. Are you getting? So this is the way of applying the rule. I want to just you people learn that how to write, how to apply. Coming to this alcohol, it's very easy. C2H5OH, which is most common, it is called as ethanol, OL. Okay, if you are taking C2H5CHO, is it okay? Is this the second member? No. For 2 carbon, we need to consider. At that time, we should be careful in writing this. This structure is also possible, but this will come as the third member of this. So, right, the second member, it will be our CH3CHO. 1 carbon, 2 carbon. So, it become like ethane Al, ethanol. Okay? Student, the important thing here, this is also called as acetaldehyde. Okay, this you have to keep in mind. Acetaldehyde. Same thing, means this name is the common name. Whatever the important common name which is being asked, only I am highlighting those things. So you must be careful. The same name, below one is the common name, above one is the IUPSC name. Let us come for the acid. The same thing, it become like CH3COOH. The name will be 1 carbon, 2 carbon, so it become ethanoic acid. It is called as acetic acid. Acetic acid. A student, it is very important because we have learned this acetic acid is used as preservative, and it is 5% of this acetic acid is present in our vinegar, which is used for preserving the pickle. Okay, now, so that's why it is very important. Same thing, ketone. For ketone, what can be made? For ketone, just can be attached one CH3 here and CO and H here? No, then it become like aldehyde. So I must go for the 3 carbons. Means at least one CH3 at both the end. So now let us go for the third category. Student, it is very important. So you just understand few of them. Remaining you will do and you will write. I'm just writing the very few. Sorry. Yeah. Let us take n is equals to 3. Then this count is called prop. So the structure or the simplest one is C3H. 3 to the 6 plus 2 is our 8. It is called as propane. If it is C3H6, it is called as propene. Propene. If it is our C3H, 3 to the 6 minus 2 is 4, it is called as propyne. A student, triple bond will be there at one of the position, any one of the position, like this structure. Let me draw. CH3 will be there, then C double bond, CH2 will be there, C, and at this end there will be H, and one of the H will also be here. Okay, in this case it will be like this. CH3 will be there, then C with the triple bond, another is CH only. Okay, it is this one. So propyne, these structure are asked. Okay, now the student, keep in mind this structure. So you have to draw the structure of propene, propyne. These two structure are asked. So please keep in mind. Now let me go for the other. Very fastly let us do. We will write for the alkane only. Alkyne and alkene we can leave it. Say CS3. Right, students. Take this as CH or C3H5. Say Br is there. A student, in this case, we can have two kind. Getting now? I can put the bromine here at the end, or I can put this bromine in the middle. Other are filled with hydrogen. It is the silent feature of this structure. Okay now? So how the name? The first one will be called as 1-bromopropane or simply bromopropane. Sometimes one is silent, so 1-bromopropane. But this, wherever it is at the 2, surely you have to give the number. It becomes 2-bromopropane. Getting now? So it is important. It is asked, what is the name of this? Very simple, but the rule that we have applied, the same we have applied here also. So whatever the rule we have learned, you keep in mind. Now coming to the other, alcohol, no doubt, like this Br, it could be this OH also. So the same kind of two structure could be there. Then same thing we need to follow. So right, C3H5 OH is there. In this case, the isomers arises. These two are the isomers. So these 3 carbon are together, and at the end we are putting the H. A student, with this carbon, the other hydrogen are attached. I am not drawing. I am drawing only the carbon skeleton. So this one or the other way, this OH may present here. See with the OH.
Sure.
Here. Yeah, tell me.
So why is it not C3H7?
Pardon, my voice or what? Not getting.
So why is hydrogen not 7?
Hydrogen is present. I have not drawn. I am saying that see here H. 3 to the 6, 7. It is 7, not 5, student. We keep in mind. We are taking for the alkane. You may take for the alkene, then double bond you need to take. Hydrogen are present. I am not drawing. This is the way of even writing. I had told you, no, students. There is the simplest way of drawing this structure. Why I have drawn this structure? Even without putting this carbon, just putting this dot, we can represent this, or just by putting the carbon, we can draw it. So it is this one. It is representation of this. So this to this to this to this, and this is attached with the another carbon 1 2 3 C C C. So whether this way or this way or this way, all the four are equally acceptable. Getting? It means writing hydrogen is not always mandatory unless or until it is stated. Means hydrogen is taken as the silent one. So carbon is skeleton. So this structure I am drawing. Hydrogen is there, but I am not drawing. At your level in examination, hydrogen will be there, and even if you have to draw the structure, you also put the hydrogen. So CH, you may put the 3 here and 2 hydrogen here and 2 hydrogen here. It is there. 3 hydrogen, 1 hydrogen and 2 hydrogen is there. Okay, student, it is there. Here also. We are interested in writing the name. So it become our, this is the OL group. So it become propanol, or better to write 1 OL. This one, these two have to be specified. So it become propa 2 OL. Okay, student, it is important. So this structure was also asked. Okay, no? So please keep in mind. Here if 2 is missing, your marks will be deducted because it becomes synonymous with this, the first one. So that creates the confusion with this one. Okay. So therefore this 2, writing the 2 in name is important. Other thing I hope you can do it, but let me write one more. For this, coming to this aldehyde, what is there? We have the CH3 is there. Now we can attach C2H5CHO. It is like this one. 1 and 2, total 3 carbon is there. So it become like our propanol. A student, keep in mind only one structure is possible for this. So it is our propanol. This structure was also asked. Okay, now. So whatever the structure I am writing or highlighting exclusively, those things are asked in your examination. So this carbon is counted here. Now coming to the propanoic acid, it is our C2H5. C2H5 is always considered as the state chain, and it becomes the state only. C2H5COOH. It is called as, yeah, we have to stop the class also. Propanoic acid. Okay, student, this one. These names and these are the few structure what you have to keep in mind, and only this much are asked. Okay, but even this, writing this name or remembering is very convenient if the rule whatever we have discussed today is known to you. Otherwise you may get confused. That's why by taking the good example, I mean a standard example, I had explained all the 5 kind of rules which is applicable for you people. So it is for our n equals to 4. Now let us go for n equals to 5 quickly. Yes, students. So let me draw it quickly. Okay. So let us mark this for n equals to 3 we have done, n equals to 4. Here, a student, for n equals to 3, the ketone also started. The ketone structure, let us write ketone also. So CO is the functional group. So this CO is the functional group. But with this CO, now we can attach one CH3 here and another CH3. So for ketone, it is asked, what is the simplest ketone? This is the simplest ketone. What will be the number? Number will be 1, 2, 3. Or starting from the bottom, you will get the same thing. So it will be propanone. Propanone. This is the simplest ketone. Means ketone below this is not possible. It is also asked. So must write this. This is the simplest ketone. The simplest ketone is our propanone. I have drawn vertically. You may draw the horizontally also if you have the space. It is the simplest ketone. Or a smallest ketone molecule possible is propanone. Students, sometimes this ketone is also given the common name. I do not think that will be asked, but for considering the common name, the two alkyl group are considered, then it is called as methyl ketone. Okay, but those things are not required for you, so leave it. Do not get confused. So right, for n equals to 4, it is called as but. So it will be our butane, the simplest one, C4H, 4 to the 8, 110. But here isomers can be drawn. So for the isomers, only one isomer give the different structure. It is this one. The remaining is filled with the hydrogen. So this butane, for this butane, whatever the name we have written with the formula, this isomer is possible. So, but for IUPSC nomenclature, this will be taken as methyl propane. Okay? Because the chain we have to consider, it will contain the 3 carbon, another one as the alkyl group. So it is this one. So from this formula, molecular formula, whether it will be represent the propane or butane, you cannot predict. Okay, but by drawing the structural isomer, the different name have to be given. But in common name, do you know the common name of this is also isobutane? Isobutane, because in common name all the carbons are counted, and if the attached group is on the second carbon, say starting from this end, this is the second, or starting from this end, even we are getting this as the second. So if the alkyl group or a methyl group is attached at the second carbon, it is called as iso. The word iso is used. So it is called as isobutane. Student, what is the structure of isobutane? Isobutane is our this one. So it is our CH3, CH3, CH3. So this is the structure of isobutane that we need to keep in mind. Okay, student? It was asked, what is the structure of isobutane? So isobutane means this one. Getting no? But the IUPAC name of this butane converted into propane. Getting? So this is the difference that you must keep in mind. There is neo and other, but that will not ask to you. So alkene, again considering the functional group, we can name it. So C2H8, sorry, C4H8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. A student, one may keep the double bond here, remaining filled with the hydrogen. So it is called as butene, or simple butene, or but with one ene. But if the structure is like this, double bond here and C with the C here, then surely the name should be given as but2ene. Okay, no student? So it is, you have to keep in mind. Getting? So whatever the rule we have discussed, the same thing we are applying. So rule is very helpful. Though you have to answer for the very simple molecule, but still you have to keep in mind those rules, because by applying those rules only we are able to write this. And for explaining that, I have taken the complex molecule. Okay, other hydrogen are filled here. I have not done that. You must keep in mind. Another C4H 4 to the 8 minus 2 is 6. So a structure can be the straight one with the triple bond here. So it will be butane, and maybe your the triple bond in between H3 and S3 at the end. It will be but to YNA. Okay, it is this. So this way, applying all the rules, we can write all these things. If we have this C4H9 say Cl, then we have a large number of these isomers, and we have to be taken care. Let me draw just one isomer. Now the chlorine may be present at this position, okay, or the other C, this C itself is here, the chlorine is present here, okay. So it means it should be 1, 2, 3, 4 with 1 and 2. 2 should be the lower one. This should be 3. This should. If we are numbering from this, that will give us the wrong result. Otherwise, this chlorine will get the higher number. So the name will be 2-chlorobutane. It was asked in your examination. Draw the structure of 2-chlorobutane. Getting no? It is so on the second position you have to put the chlorine. What is this? What will be this one, student? How we will number it? For this, keep in mind this. Now this only chlorine, it will act as the primary functional group. So we need to count this as the methyl. So the name become 1 and 2 and 3. So at 2 methyl, it become like our 2 methyl. This is chloropropane. Are you getting? So butane means containing the 4 carbon doesn't mean always IUPSC name will be with the butane. No. Okay. It was all about. Let us stop the class. Remaining you will try to fill the other for the 5 and 6. At least this alkane, alkyne you try to write. Okay. And complete this table. That is your homework. Let me write one more if you wish. You can see for the OH. OH no difference than this adding halo. Again for the our aldehyde. If we are considering the aldehyde, it become like our C3, 3 2 is 6 plus 1 for adding the aldehyde, 7, then CHO. So here we need to count the 4 carbon. So it become butanol. Okay. It may be possible, or is it possible to add anything else? Here if you open this structure, it is like this. It is like this one. Okay. So it is possible to shift it at this position. Now the structure become like this. CHO with this C here. In this case, it become 1, 2, 3. So it become like 2-methyl propanol. So these are again the isomers. So that's why we have learned the isomers earlier, nomenclature rule earlier. Now those things you have to just apply. Okay, you have to merge everything. By that way, you become the master of that or this organic chemistry up to your level. Nothing more is required. I had explained everything. Remaining carboxylic acid, the same thing, the same kind. In place of ul, you need to add oic acid. and for aldehyde we have written, and for the ketone, now what it could be, CO is there. One side you may attach this CH3, other side you may attach C2H5. It is like this. So it becomes the 4. Okay, that numbering should be given with the lower one, 1, 2. Let me write in open form. This as the CH2, then CH3. What is the name of this? It was asked. A student, it's very simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that the ketone shall get the lowest number. If we are starting from the bottom one, then it will get the higher number. That is not good. So it becomes the but 4 carbon butane, then ONE. But better way, put this suffix 2 here. So it is like our butane 2 ONE. Okay, student? So it is our butane 2 ONE. Let me write correctly. So this indicating this number 2, that gives a better expression, butane 2 ONE. This is the complete name for this stage. Keep in mind, student, these are very important. Up to this much is enough. Remaining you people, please do for the practice. At least you fill with the alkane, alkene, alkyne and aldehyde this group. So please do that as the homework. Next day, I will try to explain a bit more. A student, here, observe this. For the particular functional group, say alkane or alkene or alkyne or this aldehyde, or say for ketone, we have written different members where I shall write. So for if you are considering say alcohol, so this is the methanol, means this is the methanol, means alcohol, first member, this is the second member, this is the third member, this is the fourth member I have taken. Fourth I have not written, but like this one. So for a particular functional group, different compounds are written, then such a set of compound for one particular functional group is called homologous series. So we have prepared the homologous series for alkane, alkene, alkyne, halo, our alcohol, aldehyde, and this acid. But I will write the definition of homologous series next day. Don't be impatient. Otherwise, my student always feels that कि sir तो इतना पढ़ाता है छोड़ता ही नहीं है. So this is called as homologous series. So whatever the particular this one, these are. So for ketone, these are the, for ketone whatever the structure we have written. So this one, the other one I have not taken. Yeah, and this one. These two are the homologous series. For ketone, what is the primary member or smallest member? The question is asked in that fashion. It will be the propanol. Okay, student? This thing we will collect tomorrow. And for oic acid or carboxylic acid, the homologous series are this one. So you have to write the all the formula and name for the carboxylic acid group only. Next, whatever this table we have prepared, so this can be written like as the homologous series, of different functional group. This. Here, the purpose was to make you people learn what are the most common name which are asked in examination. What are the common molecule and their structure which are asked in examination. And what is the homologous series? What do we mean by that? Everything I have written. So this is very important. You please practice and understand this. Next step, we will define what is homologous series. Homologous series is nothing but the different set of compounds which are formed having the same functional group. Like considering the halogen group, different compound we have written like this one. Even for halogen, if we are taking the bromine, then we shall continue all for the bromine. For the chlorine, I shall consider all for the chlorine. One bromine, remaining chlorine is not falling in the homologous series. So this will be the homologous series of bromine, or homologous series of chlorine, or homologous series of iodine. Okay, these are. Students, other thing, homologous series of alcohol we have written. Bromine, then we shall consider the bromine only. But for alcohol we have written, for aldehyde we have written. So all of these are their homologous series. Sorry, it have gone wrong. So it was all about today class. Let me stop the class here. Still we have gone for the 11 o'clock. Yeah, student, any doubt then please ask. Otherwise, your homework is like this. Students, your homework. So on your page number, this one, what is this? Very easy यार, ये इतना easy है बुक में कि आप लोग सोचेगा अभी क्यों कर रहा है. 68 मेरे इतने पढ़ाने और लर्निंग के बाद देखिए, ड्रॉ द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ इथेनोइक एसिड. स्टूडेंट यहाँ पे आ गया है क्या? ड्रॉ द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ इथेनोइक एसिड. आर यू गेटिंग? अभी आप कर लेंगे, आई होप सो. आप सब कुछ कर सकते हैं अब आप लोग. अभी आप लोग ऑर्गेनिक केमिस्ट्री 80% आपने सीख लिए हैं. Only few reactions and the differentiations we have to learn. Draw the structure of the following like इथेनोइक एसिड. देखिए तो इसमें आपने इथेनोइक एसिड नहीं लिखा है क्या स्टूडेंट्स? देखिए तो मीथेनोइक एसिड, प्रोपेनोइक एसिड, इथेनोइक एसिड, यही तो है. आर यू गेटिंग? So this is the structure you have to write. Drawing, even if you want to write the bond structure, then it was our CH3. So write this in the form of bond. Ethanoic, this C, O and OH. It is this one. This is the ethanoic acid. Getting no? So this is the structure of your ethanoic acid. Are you getting? It's so simple. So everything I have explained today, provided you understand it carefully. ब्रोमोपेंटेन. स्टूडेंट ब्रोमोपेंटेन तो किया है अभी, अब 5 लिखिए. जैसे ब्रोमोब्यूटेन लिखा, ब्रोमोपेंटेन. स्टूडेंट हियर द नंबर इज नॉट मेंशन्ड. इट मींस यू शैल अटैच द ब्रोमीन एट द एंड. मींस 1 ब्रोमोपेंटेन you must draw. Leave their isomers. If it is asked for their isomers, then you draw the different isomers for it. So butenon, butenon. Right now we have drawn butenon. Not drawn, student? You people are sleeping, it means. Where is this butenon? Yeah, this is the butenon, student. Butenon. Okay? Getting? So this is the importance of our study. आप सोइए नहीं, मैं आपके बुक की चीजें पढ़ाता रहता हूं. मेनी टाइम आवर स्टूडेंट आर फीलिंग दैट सर तो पता नहीं क्या क्या पढ़ाता रहता है. सो प्लीज डू नॉट कम इनटू दैट फीलिंग, बिकॉज आप ये सब चीजें जो मैं बेसिक पढ़ाता हूँ अच्छा समझेंगे, कोई सा भी आंसर करेंगे. यदि आपको नहीं समझेंगे, जस्ट सोचेंगे कि मगअप कर लें, तो हमारा पढ़ाई आपको काम नहीं आता है. इन वेरी बिगनिंग आई एम टेलिंग टू यू पीपल. ओके, are the structure, yeah, see the in this star marks it is asked, are the structural isomers possible? You have to write the S and you also have to draw it. Okay, then for this bromo ethane, this is our methanol or formic or formaldehyde. Come to this one. So count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So triple bond is there, hexyne. Okay, so all are very easy. I hope you people will enjoy this after learning this thing. Other thing, how many structure isomer can you draw for pentane? So ये भी करिए, स्ट्रक्चरल आइसोमर आप दोबारा ड्रॉ करिए, शायद आपने ये किए नहीं होंगे, दोबारा करिए, इसको भी एंजॉय करिए. These are very simple thing. हमने तो बहुत बड़े बड़े स्ट्रक्चरल आइसोमर सब ड्रॉ किए हैं. What are two properties of carbon which leads huge number of carbon compound? Are you getting? Huge number, tetravalency and catenation. It is this thing. Formula and electron dot structure of cyclopentane. पिछले दिन हमने साइक्लोहेक्सेन बना दिए थे, अब आप साइक्लोपेंटेन बना लीजिए, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, ऐसा बस कर लीजिए. साइक्लोपेंटेन सारे के सारे में सिंगल बॉन्ड है, सबको आप हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड को कंप्लीट कर दीजिए. इट इज आवर साइक्लोपेंटेन. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, H, H and H. So it become C5H10. Okay, it is this. So questions are very easy at your level, at your book. जितना हमने पढ़ाए हैं आप स्टूडेंट प्लीज उन सबको रिवाइज करिए. दैट विल बी एनफ फॉर यू पीपल. सो दिस इज योर होमवर्क, दो आई हैड एक्सप्लेन दिस, बट प्लीज डू दिस as your homework also. But our homework is not over, student, and I will talk for 2 more minutes regarding tomorrow class. Okay, these reactions we will see later. Students, ethane number of how many? Yeah, exercise in question number 1, 2, 3. This thing you can do while cooking. If the bottom of vessel is getting black, okay, 3 you can leave it. 4 carbon compound with functional group. Yeah, 2 you can do. To draw the structure of this. 2, 4, 5 homologous series we will do tomorrow. 2, 4, 5. Then our textbook exercise question 1, 2, 4 and 5. Okay student, so it is all about our the question. So this is our blue question, and then exercise question 1, 2, 4 and 5. Only these 4 question you need to do. Yeah student, this way we shall end the class here for this, but still class is not over. Please keep patience and please tell me tomorrow